Hi everyone, we're going to be reviewing week 2 of the Super League. Sid, what does the points table look like at the moment?
Well, we've got Loughborough Lightning up on top with 23 points. They're separated on net run rate from the Western Storm, who've also got 23 points, 5 wins. And then we've got Lancashire Thunder in third. So they've won 3, lost 2. They've got 13 points. They're actually already 10 points behind, although with 4 points for a win, that is not as big a window as it kind of instinctively feels when you tend to think about 2 points for a win generally. Then the Surrey Stars, 7 points, Yorkshire Diamonds, 6 points, and the Southern Vipers on 4 points.
Okay.
So Lightning up top.
And in terms of the last week, we've had quite a few matches going on. Feels kind of instinctively like it's been quite a high scoring week in terms of runs and quite a good week for the batsmen rather than the bowlers. Is that right?
Yeah, I think that's what we've seen. We've seen in the past week we've seen average first innings total 143. So that feels like quite a lot, and it's still taking a bit of getting used to for me, seeing these higher totals. You're still instinctively thinking about 6 runs and over as actually being a good total, and you're looking at teams easily chasing totals that are a lot more than 6 and over. So there's still something of a surprise, but obviously that's our new normal that we need to be getting used to.
Yeah, sure, definitely. And we mentioned that Loughborough Lightning are the top of the table at the moment.
Raf, why are you wearing a Loughborough Lightning t-shirt?
Yeah, I did get some stick about this at the match on Saturday from the Southern Vipers. You know, the idea being that as a journalist I am officially neutral, which is of course true. However, I also like freebies, and because I was playing softball cricket in the morning at Loughborough, I got a free t-shirt and now I'm wearing it. So if any of the other teams would like to distribute free t-shirts to me or Sid or Cricket Her, we are happy
we'll happily wear them.
We are happy to promote
we'll
your
wear
side.
Anyone's free t-shirt.
Yes, exactly. But anyway, it just happens that the side whose t-shirt I'm wearing are also top of the league, so that's a happy coincidence. What's gone right for them, particularly thinking about the last week, Sid?
Yeah, well, it's certainly, I'll stand up here, it wasn't what we predicted.
Yeah.
They did start off the week with a loss to the Storm in that rain-affected match.
Yeah, the sort of 6 over bish bash bosh affair.
Yeah, so they didn't win that one, but then they've had 3 wins on the bounce. They've beaten the Diamonds. Rachel Haynes got a 50 there. They've beaten the Stars. Sophie Devine got a 50. Rachel Haynes got another 50, and Elise Villani got a 50 against the Vipers in their 3rd win there. In the match against the Diamonds and the Stars, we had 2 good bowling performances from Kirsty Gordon. She took 2 for 10 against Diamonds and 3 for 13 against the Stars. And I think that what's really interesting about the Vipers, if you look at the leading the Lightning. If the leading performers for the Lightning are who have we got? Well, we've got Elise Villani scoring runs, we've got Sophie Devine scoring runs, we've got Rachel Haynes scoring runs, so they're the leading run scorers. And in the bowling department, we've got Kirsty Gordon taking wickets, we've got Sophie Devine taking wickets, we've got Jenny Gunn taking wickets. Now what's interesting there is all of those people I've mentioned, all 6 people or 5 people, because Sophie Devine appears twice on that little list, none of them were there last year. So Elise Villani is new, Sophie Devine is new or returned this year, Rachel Haynes new this year, Kirsty Gordon new this year, Jenny Gunn's moved over this year. So obviously those signings have been really effective for the Lightning, and they've made the difference, and perhaps we were judging them on the team that played last year, and we should have been judging them on the team that were playing this year. Because
yeah, I mean, I kind of alluded in one of the pieces I wrote to the fact that actually Elise Villani, for example, was a bit of a last minute signing because Elise Perry couldn't make it, and actually looks to have been a really, really kind of brilliant move for them. So maybe there was an element of luck there. They've slightly fallen on their feet, but great to see that kind of a different team is doing well.
Yeah, no, and I think that some good signings, and they've played well, and so they've definitely deserved to be in the position they're in.
Yep.
Second place then.
Western Storm, yeah.
Western Storm.
Who are having another good year. They're a team that have kind of consistently been good performers across all 3 seasons.
Yep, they've been to the final twice, and they look to be heading in that direction again. You'd think.
Yeah, absolutely. So, what's been key to their performances?
Well, I think you want to look at the leading player in each of the 4 matches they've played in the last week. So, against the Lightning, leading player Smriti Mandhana. Against the Vipers, the leading player was Smriti Mandhana. Against the Thunder, the leading player was Smriti Mandhana. And against the Diamonds, the leading player was Smriti Mandhana. Now, I'm sensing a bit of a pattern here.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a common theme there, Sid. Thank you for hammering home that point.
I mean, they've got plenty of other good players, you know, and Rachel Priest has played some good innings. Heather Knight's come in late in the innings because, you know, other people have kind of hit enough runs that they've left her with not an awful lot to do, but she's done the job when she's come in to do it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Stephanie Taylor is there in the background as well almost, but Smriti is certainly taking all the headlines and very much deservedly so. She's been a revelation. She's already scored more than anyone else in a Super League season, despite the fact she's only played 6 games, whereas the leading scorers in both the last 2 seasons played 7 games. So she's been a fantastic signing, and she's already, you know, kind of looking a bit nailed on for player of the tournament, isn't she? Yeah,
absolutely, definitely. And it is really difficult to see if she carries on in this kind of vein of form. It's really difficult to see them not making finals day. Do you think they've got any weaknesses as a side? Because one of the common themes does seem to be that they tend to like to chase rather than setting a total, and that seems to be Heather Knight's kind of favoured thing that her team does. So if she wins the toss, then she doesn't really change it up.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you stick to that formula, I guess. But I think that there's certainly a point that, you know, as it stands now, if you were playing against them, you'd want to actually see them set a total. If you win a toss against them, you're probably going to put them in and, you know, try and, you know, change things up against them and go, look, we're going to make you do something a little bit different. But I'm not convinced that's going to come across as a weakness, to be honest. I think that, you know, they're still going to put on huge totals.
Sure. The other thing is they have conceded quite a lot of runs as a side. I suppose that doesn't matter when you've got the batting lineup that they've got that are quite capable of chasing down big totals. But you know, that's one of the reasons why they aren't top of the table, isn't it?
Yeah, they've got a slightly inferior net run rate to the Western Storm. Although, you know, to the Loughborough Lightning, the Storm have a slightly inferior run rate to the Lightning. The Lightning and the Storm are the only 2 teams of the 6 that have got positive net run rates. Everyone else has got a negative net run rate.
Oh, that's interesting.
But you know, it's only a little bit worse, and I think that you'd be foolish to bet against them under any circumstances. To be honest, that's my take on it.
Okay, yeah, I think they definitely, as I said, they still look like a really strong side. So yeah. And then kind of moving to think about the other end of the table, Southern Vipers, they were bottom a week ago. They're still bottom.
They're still bottom, yes.
Maybe haven't really improved.
They've had a loss to the Thunder, a loss to the Storm, a loss to the Diamonds, and a loss to the Lightning. So on paper, on the points table, things haven't improved. I think it does bear saying that they looked a lot better in the last 2 games. And the game against the Storm, the second game of that run of losses in the last week, they didn't do. It wasn't an awful performance. And then against the Diamonds, they hit 163 chasing, didn't quite get there in the chase. Against the Lightning, they hit 172. We were there at Loughborough. You know, we all thought that was going to be enough.
Absolutely, we did. Yeah.
So you know, they haven't actually played that badly. But you know, things just haven't really gone right for them. Tammy Beaumont's missed 3 matches in that window. And despite the fact she's missed now half their matches, she's missed 3 of 6, she's still their 3rd highest run scorer. Yeah. So they're probably not scoring quite enough runs, and they could have really done with her. Katie George has played a couple of matches now. She's played 3 matches in the tournament, but she hasn't taken a wicket. We saw her the other day, and she was kind of slightly hobbling around. I'm not convinced that she's really fit, even when she has been playing. She's obviously, you know, protecting something around one of her ankles, I would suggest, just from looking at her. So, you know, and there have been a couple of times when they've really missed, you know, a strike bowler. I think we discussed that in the last podcast that we did, and that still remains the case. Of course, their leading strike bowler has been Tash Farron, but, well, we saw what happened to her the other day, Raf.
Yeah, done something to her shoulder, it looked like. We haven't had any official confirmation, but she did seem to be in quite a bit of pain, and I wouldn't be at all surprised if that's her out for the rest of the tournament. So, you know, Hypercourse has pointed out, no, it wasn't Hypercourse, it was the Clanger. The Clanger points out on one of our latest pieces that it is still perfectly possible for Vipers to make finals day from here, if results go their way. But given the way things are looking in terms of they're going to be missing Tash Farron, potentially Katie George won't make another appearance, and we don't know what's happening with Aaron Brindle either, who was also injured. And so it's going to be really difficult for them to come back from where they are, I think.
Yeah, but you know, it's a very tight tournament. Someone's got to win and someone's got to lose, unfortunately. And the Vipers have had a good run in the very first two tournaments. This hasn't been their tournament, probably. No,
and it's so great to see teams that weren't really in the reckoning last year, kind of, or the year before, coming through and doing good performances.
Yeah, it's certainly great for the fans, and Loughborough have got their fan base, and you know, it will be a miss on finals day if we don't have the Vipers fan base there, because they certainly made up a significant proportion of the fans that were there last year in Brighton for finals day.
Yeah, that's true.
But you know, hopefully Loughborough Lightning, if they make it, will bring some fans down. Hopefully, maybe Lancashire Thunder, if they're to be the third team, they can also drag some fans down from Lancashire.
And we know that the Stormtroopers are one of the most loyal fan bases as well.
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be a lot of people in green there. But that is increasingly looking like they're the teams that we're going to see, aren't they, Raf?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So, but you know, there definitely is still everything to play for. If somebody, you know, goes on a run, it's definitely, you know, you can see a situation where the Surrey Stars might go on a run, the Thunder might fall off, the Storm or the Lightning could still fall off. You know, 2020 cricket, anything can happen. Let's see what happens in the next week.